Hey guys, welcome back to another DK podcast with your girl Joey. We are at episode 16, which is a recap, guys. This episode will be broke into two, episode 16.1 and 16.2. In this episode, myself and Justin will be discussing episodes 14 and 15. 14 being Darius Adams. What a powerful story, guys. And 15 being my hood brother G, Lorimer Avenue, stand up. We will be discussing both these testimonies and sharing our thoughts. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Justin and
Joey.
We want to welcome you to episode 16, Sweet 16 of the podcast. Joey, how you doing?
I'm good. And of the DK podcast.
Of the DK podcast. You're absolutely right. Of the DK podcast.
I'm good. I'm a little tired. Traveling. We did some traveling.
Yeah.
So, but I'm here. I'm here. I'm ready to work.
Yes. You're ready to work.
How are you today?
I'm here. Present and accounted for.
Today's your sister's birthday.
Today is my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Tracy.
Happy birthday, Tracy.
To my second mom. I love you. You're awesome. I'm going to stop before I start crying. Because my sister's awesome. I love my sister. She is
awesome. I hear so much good things about you, Tracy.
Yes.
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy more birthdays to come.
She turned 25 today.
Hey, turn up. Club time.
Yeah. So speaking of turn up, so we just got back. Spoiler alert from Philadelphia. We got a great interview on deck for you guys.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. But today we're here to recap the last two episodes, which were episode 14 and episode 15. So we had Darius and we had G or
Greg.
Greg. That's right. So we're just going to unpack that. So let's just start with the Darius episode. So how was that for you? That was pretty cool. Oddly enough, went to high school with dude, didn't see him for quite some time, and tell us why I didn't see him for quite some time.
Because Darius was incarcerated for 10 years.
Yes, he was. So let's unpack that.
Okay. So from my understanding, because I don't know Darius, you know him more than I do.
Of him.
Okay, yeah. I recently met him because, like he said, that he does demolition. So my mom was getting her house remodeled, and that's how we bumped into each other. And we, started to have a conversation. And I'm like, "Oh, you got a story to tell."
Yeah.
And I asked him. I said, "You what? I got a podcast. Would you like to come on and tell your story?" And he was more than happy to do so.
Yes, he was. I remember. So the way this works is, we'll get a guest and we try to talk to the guest before we bring them on the podcast. Right. So to just kind of fill them out, make sure they're a good fit and whatnot. So I remember talking to him, and he was like really passionate about what he believed in, and I thought he would be a good guest. And when he walked up, I was like, I know this dude from somewhere. So if you're not from Pittsburgh and you're watching this, the world is small. And Pittsburgh's even smaller.
Yes, it is.
It's 1 to 2 degrees of separation.
Yes.
So as he's walking up, I was like, man, I noticed. I went to high school with dude. And then we chopped it up for a little bit on the way in. But just a great testimony, great turnaround. He's been home. He came home earlier this year.
Yeah, I think he said he came home in March.
Yeah, he came home in March, and he just hit the ground running. So talk to us about some of the stuff he's been doing, and outside of just in general, like the things he shared with us.
So from my understanding, he is a father. Not only is he a father, he's a grandfather.
Yeah.
So he's enjoying grandparent life.
Yeah.
At like the age of 40.
So I'm 40. You're just maybe a year or 2 or 5 older than me. I'm joking. You're not. She's not, ladies and gentlemen. So we're around the same age.
Yes.
So you got a 2-year-old.
Yes.
I got 2 5-year-olds.
Right. And I got an 11-year-old.
You got an 11-year-old.
Right.
Don't want to forget about the 11-year-old. But he's a straight up grandpa.
Yes.
A pappy out there.
I think he has 2 or 3 grandchildren.
I when he said grandpa, I passed out almost in the corner. I was like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
I'm not
ready. So he talked about that, raising his family, his kids, his son, and he's doing really well with being intentional. When I spoke to him on the interview, the pre-interview, he was just really stressing to me how he's really leaned out his life and just really he go to work, he do his family, he go to church, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Right, and he also is very into health.
Yes.
Health and fitness, because not only do you have to have your mind spiritually right, you have to have your body spiritually right as well. And part of that is taking care of your body, eating right, getting rest, and working out, y'all. It's very important. But yes, he is very passionate about his walk with Christ. Which is, man, it's amazing how Christ can just turn you around and just give you a brand new look for everything.
Yeah. I thought it was cool because from what I'm understanding, I mean, I knew this before this experience with Dreamcatchers. A lot of people find God while they're in prison.
Yes, they do.
But a lot of people forget about God when they come home.
Yes, they do.
And I thought it was really cool that he's like still pursuing God, going after God, making sure that God is at the head of his life.
Right.
So what else jumped out to you during that time? During that interview, what was?
Well, I didn't know when we talked about family. I didn't know that he had a child at a young age. He didn't express what age he was that he had this his baby, which was a girl. I'm sorry that I forgot her name, but if you watch the interview, he'll let you know what his daughter's name is. Rest in peace to his daughter. She passed away. He didn't explain how she passed away or anything like that, but he did explain, the hurt that he felt from that, and how it's important to respect yourself and to make sure that respect, like, it's very important, because we can be out here doing things that we don't have no business doing because we don't respect ourselves, i.e. having a child at such a young age. Right. So that was something that jumped out to me. What about you?
I thought I think like early trauma really impacts people just in general. And I appreciate just his vulnerability around that issue of having a kid early and just the impact of that on his life, and how he's making sure that now that he's home, he's making sure that his kids don't repeat some of the same things that he did, and then how he's just being very intentional about just communicating, just being vulnerable about what that is. I think the other thing that was really cool was and as I just mentioned, like, a lot of times people go to jail and they find God, but when they come home, they're not running after him.
Right.
So just really his hunger for God, and you could see that he really wants to get it right. Like, he's not interested in going back.
Right.
As I think he said that on the episode.
Yes, he did.
So I think it's really cool to see that. I'm interested to see what his life looks like a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and different things like that.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool. So with that being said, one of the things that jumped up and I was thinking about was just like, he is trying his best to break generational curses.
Yes.
And when we talk about Dreamcatchers, when you talk about serving single moms who were incarcerated and their families and who are incarcerated, a lot of that comes from the kids as well. And I think one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of our guests is that when they go to prison, it's that sit down that they need to really figure out, what am I doing out here in these streets, right?
Yes.
And I think we don't often, I know Frank, you and your cousin Frank talked about it, we don't often emphasize the spiritual things of that, right? So like, I think a lot of times what happens is people end up in these situations, and then in the situations that we find ourselves in, it's because of generational stuff, right? So what are some of the things that you think you can share with our audience on what we can do to break generational curses? Because I know that's something that you're also fighting against as you share your story. So your 2-year-old and your 11-year-old don't follow in the same footsteps. So your grandchildren don't follow in the same footsteps. I haven't been to prison. Thank you, Jesus. I never got caught. I'm not going to tell them myself. But I'll share with you too, and I'll share as well, like, I'm very intentional about making sure what that looks like. So what are some things you think we can do to help our audience really recognize and understand how we can break the cycle of generational curses?
Well, I mean, the first thing to me is introducing Christ into your life. That's the number one thing. You know what I mean? When you have Christ in your life, like Darius said, the decisions that you make will look better. Because if you got questions and you need answers, you pray to him and he'll give you, he'll give you the answers that you're looking for, right? And so that's the first thing. I feel as though, Christ, he is the ground. He's your concrete,
your foundation,
period.
Literally.
So then after that, it's your family structure. I think it's very important for parents to be somewhat transparent to the children. You know, certain age group you could say certain things to, you know what I mean? You want to let children be children for as long as they possibly can, for the simple fact is that they got the rest of their lives to be adults. So let them enjoy their childhood. Don't go in there and ruin your child's innocence, talk about I killed the man, you know what I mean? But you know, be transparent about how you should think through decisions that you make, right?
Yeah.
So you got Christ, you got the family dynamic, and then another important aspect is financial structure.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they do the things that they do because they don't have the money to support their family, which is very important. You know what I mean? If you love your family, you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're straight.
Yeah.
Another thing that Darius had touched on, the reason why he ran in the streets was because he wanted to make sure that his family was financially taken care of, and that he wanted to make sure that they had protection.
Yeah.
And he felt like he was that provider. He was that protector. So he did whatever he needed to do to make sure things moved the way he thought that they were supposed to move.
Yeah.
So I feel like those 3 levels are very important to making sure that, you know, you don't make the wrong decision and you don't end up in prison and you're breaking a generational curse, and your legacy will continue to live long throughout, you know, the years, throughout history.
Yeah. So if you're wondering what I'm doing on the podcast, I'm not being rude. I'm pulling up some information. I can see you wonder, like, what is he doing? So I just pulled up some information. I was doing some research before, but we're talking about generational curses and we're talking about going to prison, breaking all types of stuff. But obviously we're talking about incarceration. So one of the things that I found out is they build prisons based upon not just who's incarcerated currently, but they also build prisons based upon people's reading scores.
Okay.
Right? So if
I
you
didn't know
are,
that. I thought you were going to say their children, because we talked about that before.
They do that, but then they take it a step further with literacy. So like, if you're not home investing in your kids, you don't have things to do. So like, low literacy comes from low self-esteem. That comes from being impoverished. That comes from poverty. Poverty isn't just money. Poverty is the inability to make a decision. Right. So if you can't read, you can't make a decision. So one of the things that plagues our community, specifically African American community, is Negroes don't know how to read.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a full circle, because a single parent household, it's hard for one parent to be there to give you, you know what I'm saying, the education assistance that you need when that parent has to be at work trying to do the funding to make sure that you got food in your stomach, clothes on your back, a house over your head, water to clean your behind. So, you know, you see that they take the black man out of the household, put him in prison. Well, not put him in a prison, because the decisions he made obviously put him in prison. But you know, they end up somewhere where they cannot be, you know, helpful to their home, to their children, to their family.
Yeah. It's a real thing. I know when you're not present, you can't invest in your kids. So one of the things as men, we provide identity. So women, y'all nurture really, really well.
Absolutely.
But men, we speak into our kids' lives. We provided identity. And so for me, you're talking about some of the stuff you're doing. So for me, I'm really big on reading to my kids.
Yes.
Like, they love how I read. We actually had this conversation the other day.
I told you.
Now I think about it.
You should start. You said somebody told you should start a children's show. And I said, yeah, you should read to them.
Yeah, because it's a big deal. So I could see the effect of that in my daughter's lives.
Yes.
So like, they love books, they love reading. And like, for me, that's part of my job as a dad, is to instill that value of reading, because if you can't read, you can't read.
You can't do nothing.
You can't do nothing in this life.
I mean, you can fake the funk, but you faking the funk, you might mess around and sign your life away.
Yeah. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a pro-black. I'm not gonna get on it. We are pro-black.
Malcolm.
We are.
Oh wait, no. You said you was Martin. I said I was Malcolm.
Yeah, this is true. But this is why literacy is important. This is why systematic racism has done what it's done. When you have other people in this country that have had a 400, 500-year head start, like, that's a problem.
It
right?
is.
And the prison industrial complex is a big part of that.
Yes,
so.
and we have to stop depending on the educational system, the public educational system, to be the anchor for our children.
Yeah.
We have to step in and help as well. We have to go that extra mile. You have to sit down and do the homework with your children and make sure that you know the answers as well as they know the answers. Make sure that they can show you how they come up with the answers. We have to sit down and let our children read to us.
Yeah.
Once they start reading, let them read to you. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way you see what level your children are in as far as their education is going. You have to be a part of it. It's so important to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you got to be careful with that, because the other day in the car, I was driving aggressively because I was running late, and there was a sign that says, "Do not turn."
Which one? Which one was it?
It was Alex,
Okay.
my engineer.
Not surprising.
And she said, "Daddy, that sign says do not turn." And you turned. And I'm like, watch your iPad. Like, what are you doing paying attention to how I'm driving? But all jokes aside, it really just, it comes back and it takes care of you.
Yes.
So back to Darius. So was there anything else that jumped out to you as like, hey man, like that was really dope. Great for sharing that. All of it was good. So you definitely need to watch
all
it.
Good, for sure. I will say that something Darius didn't share with you guys that I feel like he should have shared. He's in the cooking. Okay. Right? He's in for some reason a lot of black men are in the cooking, which is a great thing. That is a great thing. Justin's in the cooking too, y'all.
No comment.
But yes, like he's in the cooking, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but I'm gonna say it, Darius. You could yell at me later. He wants to open up a food truck.
Okay.
He has a plan to open up a food truck.
He should have shared that.
He should have shared it. I don't know why he didn't, but I'm gonna share it.
Well, G's moving silence. You know what I mean?
Right. My man, I done told you business.
Told her his whole business. Now they're gonna be like, you know what I mean?
Where's the food at, Darius?
The truck might be getting under the table.
Right.
You know, there's different ways to do this. This is why I didn't go to jail, ladies and gentlemen. I digress. So he wants to open up a food truck.
Yes,
okay.
He wants to open a food truck. And also another thing that he didn't share, which is, I guess it's kind of my fault because I should have asked, because some of the stuff I knew. He did go to school for construction, for doing carpeting and stuff like that. Yeah. So what he's doing now, it's not new to him. It's actually reintroducing him into things that he already knew. So, you know, that's why he's good at, you know, being able to make the money that he's making, because he has some background. So he wasn't completely lost in the sauce while, you know, growing up in the streets. But yeah.
I think it's just making different choices. I think that's part of why we do the podcast, is to help people. I know I forget where I was at. I was somewhere and a guy was saying the same skill set that put you in jail is the same skill set that's going to save your family and keep you out of jail.
Absolutely. So, because you can be a hustler. There's nothing wrong with being a hustler. It's how you hustle. Yeah. That's all. You get the same thing that you do selling drugs and other things, but the same thing that you do when you're doing those activities, you can apply it to the corporate world. You can apply it to your own business. You know what I mean? How do you think Jay-Z and them is able to make the money that they make, or Dame Dash was able to build
Illuminati? Yeah, I said it because it needed to be said.
However, these are street guys.
Yeah.
These are street guys, and what they did was they took the street and they implemented it into a 9-to-5, into corporate America, and boom. Yeah. I mean, Dame Dash is not a billionaire. However,
you don't know how much money Dame got.
I mean, he don't say he doesn't say if he's a billionaire, but he's not broke. And
he's definitely
even though he no longer has, you know, Rockefeller, he has other businesses. He has other ventures. Once you have that mentality to go get it, you're going to go get it at any means necessary, no matter where you're at.
No matter where you're at. And for the record, I am not saying that Jay-Z is a part of the Illuminati. I don't want to not make the next podcast because something happened to me. I digress.
Thank you again for stopping by. A huge thanks to both of our guests, Darius and G. Thank you for coming through and giving us your truth. I hope you enjoyed the first half of this recap. Please come back next week for the second half. And even though it's a new week, happy belated birthday to Tracy. May God continue to bless you. Have a blessed week, guys, and we'll see you next week.